Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Neiman and Judy Ritchie.
Hello and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you in the community know how you can lend a helping hand to a program or an agency in need. I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels.
And I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center, and welcome to our February edition of Helping Hands. As you can tell by our set design, we're all ready for Heart Day, Valentine's Day, the warmer weather. We're so glad that you could join us for this show. Actually, again, as we've celebrated before, this is the start of our 12th season doing Helping Hands for you. We're glad that you tune in and watch us. We want to thank our set design sponsor, which is Harnix Floral, and also our show sponsor, which is Aurora Healthcare. Where can you see us? You can, they're always so quick with the graphics that I don't have to read it. You can see us on CATV2, Charter 19 for Algoma, Amro, Black Wolf, Nakaima, and portions of Oshkosh. You also can listen to us on 101.9 FM. So thank you for being with us. We have two wonderful guests today. Judy, would you like to introduce them?
Certainly, they're both friends of long standing. One is Amy Brownson, who is the volunteer manager at Mercy Medical Center, and the other is Tom Weber, who is one of these individuals who volunteers in a lot of places in the community. So welcome. And
thank you for having us, and I just want to thank both of you for being hosts of this show, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to be here, so thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
And as volunteer manager at Mercy, that's kind of a daunting task some days.
Some days.
You bet.
I have to deal with this guy, what can I say?
So, you know, in a hospital setting, what type of volunteer activities do you have there?
We have a variety of things. We try to match the volunteer with what their interests and needs are to what we might have open and available. We have volunteers from age 14 on up to 80s, 90s sometimes. Some of the key areas we have is transport. That's where Tom volunteers, and he can talk a little bit about that. We have volunteers at all of our main reception desks. We have volunteers doing clerical and data entry, spiritual services, surgical waiting area, ER, all of the patient care units, including our psych unit. So we just have a variety of things available.
And Tom, with transport, I mean, I know that you deliver meals for us.
Oh, yes.
But you transporting patients,
Well, you
is
know
that
what?
correct?
Well, we do. We transport patients, but we deliver meals too.
Right.
If there's anything that needs to be transported in the hospital, we seem to do it. When we do meals, we do patients, which is very rewarding, I think. We do the. We might take things to the lab. We do X-rays to the X-ray room. We medical supplies. We central supply to all areas of the hospital. It's very rewarding, and like I said, it's great to be able to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's the reason why I do this, is because we're working so close with the people that are in the hospital who really want to have a helping hand and a smile, try to make them feel good, because nobody likes to be in the hospital.
That was a good segue to our show, too, using the word helping hand in there.
Well, yeah.
And the other part to that was, I was going to say, we're talking February and Heart Month, and how heartwarming it is for the patients to have the volunteers give that personal attention.
One thing I love to do is we deliver the newspaper to all the patients in the room, and I always make sure I do that in the morning, because at Mercy they have the patient's name up on the wall of each room, just their first name. But then I come into the room and I say, Mike, would you like a paper today? Or Bill, here's a paper all about the Packer win Sunday. Did you see the game? And of course they're all right away are talking about this and that and everything else. And we have the Kennedy Center, of course, at Mercy. And I can always tell when somebody is going to be having some knee surgery, because you can just tell by the equipment in the room, and you know if they didn't have it yet. And I had 2 of my knees replaced, so I always say to them, look, I've had 2 knees redone 11 years ago, and they're working great yet, so don't worry about your surgery. And that all helps.
That puts them at ease, and you can relate to them, which is
That's
really
right. That's
They've got
right.
their own
Yep.
personal support group just with
Right.
you.
So
Oh.
do you do a regular shift? I know a lot of volunteers like their regular shift.
Yes.
You do a regular
Yeah, a
shift?
regular shift. Every Monday I work.
You do,
And I was working Wednesdays too, filling in for my wife for a while. But she loves the work too, so I leave her do her thing now. But I do. I enjoy working, and prior to doing transport, I worked at the
Reception desk.
desk where the people come in. If we're going to have procedures done, we make sure they get to the right place. You know, back to moving patients around. You know, there's several times I've taken patients to the cafeteria in a wheelchair, and then you have to help them get their food, and it's just a good feeling to be able to help them. I have a little thing here which will go with Helping Hands that the ministry group at Mercy put together for us, and it's called "You Are the Hands." God has no body on earth but yours. No hands but yours, no feet but yours. You are the eyes with which God looks. God's compassion on the world. You are the feet with which God goes about doing good. You are the hands with which God blesses all. You are the eyes, the feet. You are the hands, God's compassion on this world. God has no body on earth but yours. Isn't that pretty?
So do you have a copy for me now?
I will give you
gotta
this
get me
right
one.
now because I have another one.
Oh,
at
do
home.
you? Thank you very much.
But-
I love that.
Oh, I think it's the most beautiful thing.
I read it at our volunteer education in service because annually we have to remind volunteers about key things around safety and such, and that's the prayer I read in the beginning, and everyone got one of those, so it was very well received. I really like it too.
And I think
It
that
embodies what our volunteers are.
absolutely, you know, and we talk about when Tom volunteers for me, and the same thing really holds true when he's volunteering for you. We're the, you know, the volunteers are the eyes and ears that when we can't be there. And it's what they see, what they can do for reassurance, what they can report back to us when there are issues or something that or sharing what somebody's fears are so we can find someone to support them.
And I want to say collaboration.
Yes.
So thank you for collaborating. And plus, for our audience, they all know that Aurora and Mercy collaborate together.
Yes.
Yes.
We collaborate together and get along very well.
We do.
I still tell the story. The first day we opened, I had 2 Mercy volunteers who volunteered by you in the morning and were coming by me in the afternoon. And they're in their car changing their smocks because they didn't think they could come into Aurora with their Mercy smocks. And I said, Carol, we all get along really well. We can do that. But people love to give back, and you can tell by the smile on your face. So
Oh, yeah.
no matter what hospital it is, they're all community volunteers giving back, and so we really do appreciate
We
it.
really see volunteers as they're our ambassadors. They're ambassadors in the community, and they're also like a liaison between the paid staff and the patient. The patient sometimes feels more comfortable talking to a volunteer. so.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that our volunteers are not our volunteers only. They're so many different places. And with that, they bring a wealth of experience and knowledge that we couldn't begin to train them in that. And it just all makes them even better in their role than they were when they started.
Can I have 20
Of course.
seconds to say my brother and I and about 5 other people volunteer out at Parkview Nursing Home in the summertime. And we take care of all the flower gardens.
Which are gorgeous.
And every Tuesday afternoon, the residents come out and we pick bouquets of flower for each resident. And it just warms their whole heart. You know, so there's in this nursing home all week long, and they can come out And we also have a vegetable garden out there where we grow snow peas in the spring and miniature tomatoes in the later on, and then we pass them out when they come out. They're like candy. I just love
And
it.
it brings back memories.
Oh, it does.
For the residents. One of my volunteers is a master gardener,
Yeah.
and she's part of the class that she says that helps them put the flowers together. And in the winter, the flowers are donated because,
Oh, yes.
of course, this is Wisconsin. There are no flowers growing outside. But she said that the volunteer or the patients and residents love it because they have a bouquet they can show someone and take to their room. I think that's just
Yeah.
commendable. What a neat thing.
Yeah, and so we can do so much volunteering and helping people around the city.
So how long
Every
have you
day.
been with Mercy?
With Mercy?
Yeah.
Since I retired, 6 years. And you know, and when you retire, after you've worked all your life, you need something like this. I started
Yes.
working when I was 12 years old delivering papers. And I worked constantly into something area. And so when I retired 6 years ago, I needed something. And fortunately, my wife was a volunteer at Mercy, and I knew how much she enjoyed it. So that was where I...
The best kind of PR, the best kind of
Oh,
getting
yeah.
volunteers.
The best way is current volunteers or employees. Yep.
Now we have about 3 minutes left. Ian is telling us. Any new volunteer position or a position that you really need the volunteers with, Amy, that you want to mention?
Oh, we constantly have things open. Some of the newer areas have been actually directly on the patient care units. We haven't had that always. So each unit manager has kind of decided how they would like to utilize a volunteer, so it's different on each unit. On one of our units, it's getting the rooms ready for patients that are having surgery the next day, so it doesn't have a lot of direct contact, but it's great for students who are maybe interested in the healthcare field and they want to learn more about how a room might be set up or how things are set up on an ortho floor. So that's one thing I do want to point out is we do have a lot of student volunteers because of UW-Oshkosh, which we love, and high school students as well. Or that might be something a little bit more patient care oriented on another unit, or it could be clerical on another unit, like our psych unit tends to be more clerical. So that's kind of a newer thing.
So for our TV audience, it's on the screen
Right.
right now too, what Amy's been saying, all the different needs that are on there, from pet therapy to rehab to caring companions. What's
And I might want to point out we do have, besides in the hospital, we do have some things that are outside of the hospital, caring companions being one of those. We match volunteers with patients leaving the hospital that might need added support or reassurance after they go home. They can run an errand, do some light housekeeping, things on that order. We also have a wonderful group called the Children's Screening Services, and they do vision screening in the community. They screened over 1,200 students this past year for general vision and depth perception, and they also do screen for color blindness. And if you're someone who can't maybe come into the facility, you might be more homebound. We have things you can do at home. You can make hats for babies or for cancer patients, lap robes for cancer patients, dialysis patients. You can make cards for patients and tray favors. So give us a call and we'll find something that you can do for us.
And see, our staff is so good because Amy just said, give a call. And
There
on
we
the
go.
screen, and also then for our radio audience, 223-0225 to call for more information. Or you said the application's online at affinityhealth.org/volunteer.
That's
So you can contact Amy. If you see Tom out in the community, you
Oh,
can talk
sure.
to him because he's a good ambassador for volunteering.
Absolutely.
Just really quickly, because we're really winding down. Background checks, you require that with your volunteers, correct?
We do, yes. We
Okay.
do have some requirements, background check being one, and there's also some health work that needs to be done. A TB skin test, a blood draw to make sure that you're immune to measles, mumps, rubella, rubeola, and chickenpox. And during the flu season, the flu vaccine is required as well, and we provide all of that at no charge.
So, you want to repeat your number again?
Our number is 223-0225, or you can go to our website at affinityhealth.org/volunteer.
Well, we want to really thank you guys for being with
Oh,
us.
Thank
thank
you.
you very
Especially
much.
you fit in so well. You can. There are people that we have on the show that you can just tell by the smile on their face that they love what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And we can tell that you love what you're doing.
Oh,
You're a
I
good
do.
ambassador, not only for Mercy but for the community of Oshkosh. So
Oh, yeah.
thank you guys very much for being with us. Stay tuned, and we'll be back for our second segment of our February edition of Helping Hands.
Thank you for joining us.
Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow. When we see a roundabout, take it slow. Then we pick the correct lane and take it slow. When we see a car approach, we yield to the left. When we're in that roundabout, we don't pass anybody yet. Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow.
Visit WisconsinRoundabouts.com for more info from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Wisconsin is losing our World War II veterans. If you were a World War II veteran, or you know one who hasn't gone on an honor flight to D.C., please help us. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association is partnering with all Wisconsin Honor Flight hubs to make sure every eligible vet remaining who served their country so selflessly gets the chance to go. It's time for them to see their memorial. It's time for their flight. To learn more or to make a donation, go to wisconsinhonorflight.org.
Welcome back to our February edition of Helping Hands. This is our time that Judy and I like to chat, catch up on things, let you know what's going on in our community. There is one thing that I wanted to talk about, and usually I don't brag about things, but in the latest edition of Consumer Reports, Aurora Medical Center in Oshkosh was named the second safest hospital in the United States. So not just in Wisconsin, but in the United States. And that really does show what a caring hospital we are, a care team, quality, the safety experience. So, and it makes us proud also that we can be part of this wonderful community. So I wanted to thank Aurora again for sponsoring this show and also let you know about that great news that we just received. Also then, a new project. Judy and I are always talking about things you can do in the winter and new projects. Our pharmacist, Stacey, came to the craft fair that we have at Aurora, a successful craft fair, always November. We just got done with it, and she was painting bottles. And she started painting these bottles. I love it, the quote, "Where there is love, there is life," fits in so well with this being Valentine's Day. And without his love, I can do nothing. With his love, there is nothing I cannot do. She sells these bottles, and I'm not trying to advertise for her, but she sells these bottles and she gives half the profit to our Knitter's Nook. So we can buy yarn to make the baby hats, the Afghans, the prayer shawls, which on the table right here, this is a prayer shawl that was made. So a unique thing. People come up with the most unique ideas. Lynn Mazinga, our friend, came up with the idea with the pillowcases that they make for us that we can give to the kids in peds or ER instead of a blanket, and the kids absolutely love it. So this segment we're going to talk about things that maybe people can do in these cold winter months.
Well, and when you're talking about the bottle, we're seeing a lot more of the crafts, favors and things that are recycling. Rather than going out and purchasing lots of new materials, there's a lot of recycling. And as I had one parent tell me that they would never ever consider this with their kids. But you have an employee over there that also volunteers over at Grace Lutheran School.
Right.
And her kids have done some beautiful things for our recipients in the program. And they did, a couple of years ago, they did love bugs that were using the toilet tissue cores. And they painted them and trimmed them up with all these scraps and things. They were absolutely darling. And our our program recipients loved them. You went in there 6 months later and they had it setting on their end table or on their kitchen table where they could look at it because somebody cared enough to make something for them.
And as Amy mentioned in our first segment, Amy from Mercy, we talk about tray favors constantly. People love the idea of getting a note, something colorful, even like the love bug, on their tray. And maybe they're missing their grandchildren, maybe they don't have grandchildren. It just is such a nice thing to do. We will always take, Judy's always sharing with me if she gets an overabundance of tray favors. If I get something and I can't use them, I share with someone else. But that's something that parents and families can do together. You can just take a piece of paper and draw a picture on it, or you can go online. You can use fancy doodads, whatever you want. But really, those things are appreciated by residents, not only in the hospital, but also in the nursing homes.
In the nursing homes, the assisted living facilities, the daycare, adult daycare centers, our Meals on Wheels program, or the hospice programs, you name it. And I remember my dad, and yes, he had grandkids that did all these things for him, but when he had gone to, I think it was a meal site or something, and he came home with this little treasure that he had gotten that was part of what was handed out that day, he was so proud of that. It was something somebody made special for him.
See.
And you can't put a value on that. You don't have to do the formal volunteering. You can do the knitting, the crocheting, the knitting, the anti-bullying campaign scarves, or the prayer shawls, or tying blankets that can go to the Christine Ann Center, can go to the police and fire department for kids in trauma. When you see sales, purchasing on clearance, the stuffed animals, the stuffed toys, again, that can be given to the kids when there is something that's very traumatic for them, just something that's cuddly in their own. We have, through another program in our agency, we have a young woman who is developmentally disabled and is now living separate from her family in a group home. And she was a little concerned because it was a totally different environment, but she's got a few special things that way, and she loves them.
They do make a
special.
huge difference. We talked about recycling before. Your magazines. We all subscribe or purchase magazines. Believe me, nursing homes and hospitals will take your magazines, especially if they're timely. Like in the winter, in the month of February, I really don't want to pick up a gardening magazine because it makes me, maybe I do, but it makes you kind of like homesick for the gardening and all that. But if you have your magazines like your People, your Us, your Time, your Newsweek, why not, when you're done with them, recycle them to a hospital or a care center, because they really can put them to good use in the waiting areas.
And they do. And like the teacher's closet collects a lot of them for uses in the classroom. I know that there are 2 autistic boys that belong to St. Thomas Episcopal Church in Menasha, and part of what their frustration release, or whatever you want to call it, is they take the magazines or the catalogs and they tear them, and that there's something about that motion that is soothing to them. And so the parents just have an area that they can do that, and then they scoop it all up and they take it to be recycled. Or it can be, other things can be done with it. So we see a lot of those kinds of things.
And they're unique, and there's something that you want to share. I know with the cold winter months, and hopefully, it's the month of February, so hopefully it's getting better. Aurora did a hat, scarf, and mitten donation tree. We were able to donate 4 gigantic boxes to area schools, and we called, and you would not believe, the teachers were at Aurora within the day to pick those up, because they said so many times kids don't even have them or they lose them. So think about what you can do. Maybe your kids are out of school, but you can help someone else's children. And something simple was like, I think at wintertime then, the hats and scarves were buy one, get one free or half off. You pick them up, you donate them, and it makes you feel good that you are giving back to the community. I also want to hear the ideas of what you're doing. We do, both of us would like to hear it. We can talk about it. If you're doing something, you're recycling something like the bottles that we have here, or you're making something and you're donating it to someone else, please contact Judy or myself, and our information's at the end of the show, and let us know what you're doing for groups. We like to know the different things that are going on in our community.
Right, we like that. The other thing is when you're grocery shopping and you've got the buy one, get one free, go ahead, do that, because the food pantries are always in need of the canned goods, or if you're really lucky and generous, the canned hams and the things that are protein, because that's one of the things that they're always in short supply. So things like that make a difference. With some of the meal programs in the community, Salvation Army, Loaves and Fishes, at the Episcopal Church, having some extra I'm thinking the travel size or the hotel size of toiletries.
That everybody always takes. I think we take them because we feel we paid for them. We want to put them to good use, but we never use them. That's a great place to donate them to like a homeless shelter,
right,
a warming shelter, or the Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, because they can put those to really good use.
Right. Well, and they're, again, with the teacher's closet, with the hygiene classes in the school, they're using them. My son-in-law, when he's on the road and stays overnight, he brings them back, keeps everything in a big Ziploc bag, and periodically I've got it to take to wherever. And it's thinking how you can make use of what's around you.
And make good use of your time. We were just talking about the volunteers that try to keep busy all year round. Sometimes now the snowbirds don't go away like they used to because maybe of their health or other reasons, so they're here and they need something to do. Mercy has the program called Caring Companions, which I think is a wonderful idea of pairing people together just for, well, as our first guest, Tom Weber, he has that personality where that's just what you need to do sometimes, is talk to someone, bring a little comfort into their lives, things like that. One thing that I wanted to mention for our audience here, for people who are listening, we get calls constantly about people who want to volunteer at a healthcare center or somewhere else, but they have to volunteer maybe to work at a detention off or something for 5 hours. We can't take you because our training program to do it costs money and it takes a little time to do. But we did at our last AVA meeting of Alliance of Volunteer Agencies, we said the Salvation Army will. So if anybody knows of anyone, the Salvation Army, or call the Volunteer Center in Appleton, and they'll be able to hook you up if you just have a short time that you need to volunteer for any reason whatsoever. Because just realize that a lot of healthcare agencies, nursing homes, hospitals have certain requirements.
The training and the orientation and everything takes more time than what the hours that are available. Right. And some of us, because the volunteers are working off-site, there's liability, and so we look at that in a different context also. But it's really important to know that everything you do, no matter how large or how small, can make a huge difference in the life of someone else.
And that's a fitting end for our February show of Helping Hands. Thank you for being with us. I am John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels. Thank you for joining us.